What is going on, everybody? Voidlego here, back with a brand new episode of Chaos Head Noah. Last time on, we went to the hospital in order to check up on Elise with our good boy, I can't remember his name right now, Masumi-kun, to check up on Elise, and as soon as we open up her hospital door, we find her covered in blood, so there goes Masumi-kun forever. But since Takumi is completely scared and terrified for his wife, he just stands in place. And it's not the only thing that's out of place there, as there's two other disc swords right next to Elise's. And Elise decides to explain to us that the Black Knights haven't come together, so she must forcefully take their swords away from them using her own. And she vows to help out Takumi to unleash his disc sword in order to destroy the Galdor King. And as we're going through all this, and Takumi has a moment, he decides to look up the Galdor Saga, the book Elise keeps, talking about over and over again. First, he checks the book, actually, in her hospital room, which is completely and utterly blank inside. There is no words on it, there's no sentences, there's no verses, there's nothing to it. He looks it up, and it seems like the Galdor Saga doesn't exist at all, except within Elise's delusions. And so, kind of connects two to two together. It isn't the fact of because Elise was tortured so much as a kid that she gravitated towards this fictional fantasy series. It's more like she broke so much, became a Gyromaniac, and created a fictional book series within her own mind to justify why this happened to her, why the world is the way it is, by creating this Galdor book saga and this prophetic author and stuff like that. And after a couple shenanigans and a lot of kissing, it turns out that Elise is really devoted to Takumi by this point, which, oh boy, that's I can see why people really like Elise. We gained the sword of both Yua, Kazui, and Senna. And of course, like every other time, Shibuya is thrown into chaos after a major earthquake. And right now, we are waiting to gather the last of the disc swords and to kill the Galdor King, whatever that entails, in whatever world that Elise wants after killing the Galdor King. But yeah, I'm very curious as to see how this goes, so let's get right into it. We left Senna and Kazupi as they were. I wanted to help them, but they really didn't have the strength to do so, and Elise just didn't care in the slightest. We made our way back towards Shibuya Station. On the way, we saw countless wounded people on the ground and just as many dead bodies lying around. Elise looked up to the sky with her usual distant expression, trying to stave off my nausea. I asked her a question.
Ayase wa donna ketsumatsu o nozomu no?
Yeah.
結末
Rumi was missing in action. Sen and Kazupi had both had their minds broken. Elise had already taken the disc swords from all the Gilromat girls, or maybe stolen would be more appropriate. She had to have orchestrated all of it. How could she have not? There's no way she just happened to find a bunch of out for the count, mind-broken Gyromaniacs that all had their disc swords out. There was just no way. If she was behind it all, then the earthquake was also her doing, and Galdor was just a legend she made up.
この地震が綾瀬の妄想じゃないって言い切れる。綾瀬だって望んでたんでしょ。
そうね。
なんでこんなこと。
匠、結論を急がない。すでに予言されていたの。スイグラーによって。
It's like it doesn't exist.
私はそれを知っていた。ただそれだけ。
グラジオール機は綾瀬の妄想じゃないか。そんな本 どこにも存在しないよ。
匠も見たはずよ。私の病室で。
ああ、見たよ。でもあれは白紙だった。
匠に見えていなかっただけよ。
Oh god.
そんなの詭弁だ。嘘だ。僕を騙そうっていうのか。
世界は約67億ある。
Okay.
つまり人類の全人口よ。異なっているの、それぞれの見ている世界は。
Ah, perspective, she means.
全く同一であることはないわ。匠と私もそう。
それが本当だって言うならそう出してよ。どうせ無理なんでしょ。
Link me your sources. Louise stared at me, then furrowed her brow. She seemed a little perplexed. It was almost like she was forcing herself not to show any emotion.
見たいの、私が見ている世界を。
Oh god.
できるならやってみてよ。たとえ見せられても信じないだろうけど。
違うわ、匠。君はもうすでに見ている。私の世界と君は少しずつ同期し始めているのよ。
Yep, that just like I thought. Those flashes of like those red scenes we kept seeing like beforehand. That's how Elise looks at the world.
何を。
Yep, all rusted and shit like fucking Silent Hill. The world rusted over once more. Those collapsed on the ground were engulfed like black miasma. I could see the head of a child crushed by the debris poking out through the cracks. The man who was probably their dad trying to save them. Static rang in my ears again. And then in an action that was incomprehensible to me, the dad stomped on the child's head. Their head split open like a watermelon and it was subsequently crushed by their father's foot. Blood and gray matter splashed onto the ground. The static came again. The child's head was now completely intact. I could hear their dad cry out to them, "Hold on, I'll get you out of there." Static. The child had escaped from beneath the rubble and now they were stabbing their father over and over again with a knife. You're fucking useless, you old fuck," they jeered. A young couple were sitting in a somewhat remote spot. The two were under the same blanket, huddled right next to each other. Oh god. When the static came again and engulfed the two of them, and the man began to rape her, her screams echoed loudly throughout the city. God, it's like the crossed. Ugh, do not look that up, by the way. But the screams stopped with more sounds of static, and the two were back together as if nothing had happened. Two middle-aged women were limping down the road. They were likely sisters. Static flashed, and one of them grabbed the other by the hair in an instant. She then began to yank on it in an attempt to uproot it completely. And with the fierce sound of tearing, she mostly succeeded. Jesus. The static soon flashed again, and her hair was back to normal.
なんだよこれ。
私の世界よ。
Jesus, man. Jesus, Elise. It was her world? It wasn't my delusion, but Elise's? Wait, was it even a delusion or was it reality? A black miasma was hovering over Elise's chest too, but really I didn't want to see any of them anymore, so I instinctively looked away.
匠の見ていた空はどんな色をしていた？
どんな青い。
あんな色？
Elise pointed up to the sky. It was a shade of red.
あれは赤土色だ。
赤土色。あの色は青じゃないの？
どこからどう見ても青空じゃないよ。常識的に考えて。
でも私にとってはあの色が青なのよ。
Damn. What? What was she saying?
匠は説明できるの。青色ってどんな色？
What?
女ってだから空の色。
あの色の空しか知らないのよ、私は。
みんな青がどんな色かぐらい知ってるでしょ。
だから説明して、例えを使わずに、青のどんな色なのか。
Shit, how do you describe a color? Without an example? How was I supposed to... I tried to figure out a way to explain it, but I came up empty-handed. I just couldn't come up with a way to describe the color blue. Upon noticing my complete loss of words, Luis gave me a sad smile.
世界は約67億ある。そう言ったはずよ。空の色も67億通りある。
Yeah.
みんな見ているものが同じだとは限らないわ。
The scenery went back to normal. This color was my world's.
綾瀬はずっとあんな世界を見てきたの。
Luis gave a slight nod. Jesus.
生まれた時からずっとそれが当たり前のことだと思っていたわ。世界の構造として。
God, she's like Edo in that way.
でも違うのね。今匠の話を聞いて理解できたわ。
あの黒いもやは何なの。
写真よ。誰でも持っているものなの、人ならば。そしてこの写真はグラジオールの糧となり形を作り出していく。
As long as they are human?
見えた、人々の負の妄想が。
Wait, was the static causing negative delusions to bubble to the surface? Was that why I'd been seeing all that inhuman savagery?
私は昔から見てきた。
Jesus.
黒騎士ならば程度の差があってもみんな見えているはずよ。
Well, I mean, Takumi can see from other people's perspectives. We saw that in like ending B, so yeah.
そこにあるのはむき出しの悪意、むき出しの欲望。
Had Elise been seeing a world like that ever since she was born?
匠、私が望む結末はこの錆びついた世界から魂ごと抜け出すこと。
Oh.
そのためにはグラジオールを倒さなければならないのよ。
Elise moved closer to me.
だから見つけて。あとは匠だけなの。理想像を見つけて。
Holy shit.
無理だ。
Unable to bear it any longer, I pushed Elise away by her shoulders. Elise's eyes opened wide in shock.
なぜ諦めるの。
僕は綾瀬が思うほどすごい人間じゃない。どれだけ望んでも理想度が手に入る兆候すらないじゃないか。オーフロントの時もそうだったし、地震が起きてからもそうだ。方法がわからないんだ。理想度なんて手に入れられないよ。自信がないよ。
それならなぜ私を助けたの。
Elise drew even closer. I took a step back, trying to stay away from her.
助けたって一体何のこと。
私が学校の屋上から飛び降りた時、君が花壇のある世界を生み出した。
That is true.
だから私は一つ上のステージに魂を移すことはできなかったわ。
That was a fluke. I hadn't done it intentionally.
それでもいいと思った。君の力を知ることができたから。 あの時から君が私の希望になったから。
Oh my god. Please don't place all your hope in someone on a whim. Please stop expecting anything from me.
たくみ、自分を卑下しないで。それは邪神王の精神侵略よ。負けてはいけないの。君には力がある。確実に手に入れられる。必ず理想道。
無理だ。無理だよ。
Before I had thought that I might as well just stick with Luis. I had no one else that could have protected me after all. But the more time we spent together, it became very clear to me. I couldn't understand how Luis fought at all. The difference in how our minds perceive the world around us was just too great. And if I was being honest, I was fed up with how fucking batshit insane she was. She was a complete mental case, through and through. I really am a horrible person, and I've always been that way. I've never changed.
なぜそんなことを言うの？
Luis clung to me, tears rolling in her eyes. It wasn't the calm, aloof Luis I was used to.
私はこんな世界にいたくない。お願い、解放して。私の希望になって。
Jesus.
黒騎士として目覚めて。
無理だよ。
無理じゃないわ。
Shit. I synchronized with her world once again. A black miasma poured out of Luis's chest and entwined itself around my body. It swithered around the top of my skin like an anaconda slowly strangling its prey to death. Its repulsive, chilling presence was enough to give me goosebumps. It was Luis's pure, unadulterated desire. Just like any other person, wasn't used to seeing people's naked emotions. A flash of static.
君は私の希望。
Luis stared at me. Her eyes dyed pitch black.
君を離さないわ。つなぎ止める。どんな手を使ってでも。
Oh shit. Luis's fingers started undoing my jacket buttons one by one.
君の欲しい。
She was as close as could possibly be. Just like the time we made out in the hospital room closet. I was like a deer in the headlights. I couldn't move. When she finished undoing all my buttons, my chest was exposed, but she didn't stop. She moved down, took off my belt, and unzipped my pants.
君、力欲しい。
Elisa's ice-cold fingertips caressed my chest, and then her nails dug into me. The pain was so intense, and yet I still couldn't move an inch. God damn.
欲しい。
Her fingers gouged out my flesh. They raked their way to my bones. Her hand reached deep inside and gently embraced my pounding heart. I was trembling out of fear, out of pain, out of the cool sensation of Elisa's fingers.
あったかい。もらうわね。
Oh my god.
ダメ。
Quiet as hard whipping out sound. I could feel my blood vessels exploding. Copious amounts of blood spilled from my chest. She took it out. My heart, she... The world switched colors in an instant. It had gone back to its original dull color. The rust had vanished, and I was completely unharmed. I put my hand on my chest. Thankfully, I could feel it beating. My heart was still there. Elise was standing in front of me, clutching herself with both arms. She looked so incredibly sad, like she was about to burst into tears at any moment. There it was again. The same look as when she had taken Yoa's disc sword, the same as when I had first seen her whirled back at the Scramble Crossing, the same as when she obtained Senna and Gensupi's disc swords. Louise looked at me on the verge of tears, doing everything she could to hold them back.
首そんなつもりじゃないの。写真を制御できなくなっている私も取り込みすぎたせいかもしれない。理想度写真王の精神侵食で私はおかしくなりつつある。
Wasn't it all just another one of her delusions? Wasn't it all just fake words meant to trick me? Those thoughts suddenly came to mind, but I didn't say them out loud. I just couldn't. Louise was a girl who rarely showed any emotion, with her unwavering tone giving her clear command of any conversation she ever had. That was why it was so hard to see her like this. I had never seen her so sad before. Maybe that's why she's so emotionless. Is because she's been repressing her desires for most of her life, really. Like, Takumi is possibly the first person she's ever put so much hope into, so much desire for, so much someone to help her, pretty much. And the reason why she did that was because of the world she saw around her. She saw all these people giving into their wicked, devilish desires. When in reality, it's not like that. It isn't like that. Like, desire is not a bad thing. Everyone desires. Everyone desires something, some person, some goal. We all desire. That's what makes us human. But because of Elisa's viewpoint, she sees it as corruption. She sees it as hatred, as evil, pure and utter evil. And that's why she's so emotionless, so disconnected from the world, is because, well, she's a girl that doesn't want to indulge in her desires. She simply just, she isn't living, she's just surviving. And sad. You know, it's just to see desire as pure evil. Like, there are obviously evil desires, but it's not entirely pure evil. It's not pure good, it's not pure evil. There's no such thing as a pure evil thing or a pure good thing in the world. That's why she had to make up this story, this grand tale, this fantasy of the Black Knights and the Galdor King, to justify why this is happening to this world, why it's so corrupted, why it's so evil, why the world is the way it is in her mind, in her eyes. God, it's sad. She looks so fragile, like she could fall apart at even the slightest touch. Because of that, I knew that I couldn't tell her what I was really thinking.
僕はどうすればいい
When those words left my lips, the slightest of tears began to flow from the corner of her eyes. She looked to me with a gaze that showed how much she truly needed me.
私は支配されつつあるわ。邪神王の攻撃によって。このままじゃ自我を保てない。だから取り除いて私の中を侵食する不浄なる邪神を。
取り除くってどうやって？
私の世界を見たでしょ。あの黒いもやは人が持つ不浄なる邪神が具現化したもの。むき出しの悪意。それを掴んで私の体から引き抜いて。
There's no way. I could never do something so horrifying.
お願い、匠。私でいたいの。私の世界を救って。
Aww. Losing her balance, Louise fell to the ground. Her figure was as frail as could be. But we had made a promise to each other, one she had said herself.
君を守るわ。君も私を守って。
Senna and Kazupi had already been broken, and Remy was nowhere to be found. I didn't want to lose Louise too. There was an element of selfishness to it. But most of all, I wanted to help her. I was fully aware that it wasn't within my ability to do so. But still, even if Louise really was some crazy, hopelessly schizo girl, even if all of this was just her delusion, I wanted to help her with all my heart. But right as I realized that sentiment, the world turned to rust yet again. The snake-shaped black miasma pouring out of Louise's chest reared its head. Just looking at it made me feel sick. Felt like something was pressing down on my chest, and I couldn't look away. But even if I could, it wouldn't change anything. That's why I knew I had to try and face it head on. But I couldn't bear it. It felt like my chest was being crushed. My migraine was splitting my head apart. I couldn't do it. I never could have. I didn't have the strength to help anyone.
Takumi.
I looked up in response to Elise's call. She held her hand out to me, her tear-filled eyes locked with mine.
来て。私を好きにして。
She showed complete trust in me, or perhaps she was depending on me? I never had someone depend on me before. My mind was about to crumble when Elise's voice just barely managed to keep it together. I bent my whip and then I took a single step toward Elise. With me as its new prey, Elise's black miasma moved toward me and entwined itself around my neck. It was so cold, it nearly tricked my mind into thinking it was hot. It eased me into its embrace, but all the while it was gently strangling me to death. Elise leaned against me. Her body had gone completely limp. I was forced to support her entire body weight.
Takumi.
I tightly embraced her slender hips.
本当にいいの？
いいわ。
With a gulp, I reached my hand toward the black miasma pouring out of her chest. Following only an ephemeral moment, the miasma changed form into that of a black wretch, an act that only served to make it all the more repulsive. That was Elise's wicked heart laid bare, the most hideous part of herself that she didn't want anyone else to see. That was what the mask was. Oh, Jesus. I took hold of the leech's body. It was extremely slippery, and it was so cold it stung at my palm. I wanted to let go the second I grabbed it, but in a desperate attempt to hold on, I clenched my teeth and endured it. Elise groaned in pain, her face a horrid mixture of ecstasy and agony.
But...
What the hell is this gonna do? I tried pulling with all my might, but I could feel her flesh being torn apart. Black liquid burst from her chest, covering my body from head to toe. Whether it was blood or something else, I didn't know. Despite all of this, I pressed on, pulling the leech as hard as I could.
大丈夫？
Unable to take her screams any longer, I stopped my hands at poise, hands atop which Ayase had poised her own.
止めないで。ダメじゃないから。
Even though her body was drenched in sweat, Ayase firmly reassured me. I couldn't hesitate again. If I did, it will only be torturing her.
抜けろ！
Using every ounce of strength I had, I grasped the reach and pulled it out. Ayase's body twisted and writhed. The reach swithered around. It was a lot longer than I thought it would be. The reach curled into a circular mass and wrapped itself around my arm. It tightened hard against my fist. I guess it was the wicked heart's last stand. I clenched my teeth to endure the pain. I was glad that I got it off Ayase at least, but I wasn't sure what to do with it now. Pray? Having entrusted her entire body to me, Ayase gently caressed my cheek.
不浄なる邪心は君の手で純粋な邪心へと変わるわ。
Huh? The black wicked heart wiggled on my arms and was shone violet. The sound burst forth from it, a sound so shrill it was akin to the loudest of screams. Oh shit. The wicked-hearted turned into a sword.
これディソード。
Holy fuck. I'd wanted one so bad, but I'd never been able to get one no matter how hard I tried. But now, it was finally in my grasp. Ayase's wicked heart had transformed into a disc-sword.
目覚めたのね。
Oh shit. Even amid her intense pain, Ayase smiled in my arms. Sweat ran down her brow profusely, adhering her bangs to her forehead.
ありがとう。目覚めてくれて。
What had I done to deserve her gratitude? I didn't know. I had no faith in myself.
たくみ。
Ayase stripped her hands around my neck, and then she tightly embraced me.
君だけは私の話を真面目に聞いてくれたのは
Oh.
嬉しかったすごく
Ayase's body was really warm. The black liquid on her chest was slowly turning red. Her blood stained my clothes. But I didn't care. I held Ayase tightly in acceptance. She still had trouble breathing. I could feel her back tremble with each breath. The smell of her sweat rose in the air. Even that part of her was as lovely as the rest.
大好き
Has Ayase fallen in love with me? I may or may not depend on her, but I know she depends on me. So, I don't think a relationship like this will be too bad. Just the two of us. Suddenly, the sky behind Ayase's shoulders caught my attention. It was changing from vermilion to black. Oh shit. But only in a single spot. Or perhaps it was merely an illusion, and in reality, the spot was just the star. Nonetheless, the spot gradually grew bigger. If it continued at such a speed, it would soon blanket the entire sky.
なんだあれ
I mumbled that to myself, completely dumbfounded. Also noticing the unnatural phenomenon, Ayase quickly stood back up, using my shoulders to help herself do so.
あれが目覚めた邪神
Oh shit.
ついに侵略を始めたんだわ結局 私は間に合わなかったというの？もう止められないの？そんなことさせない。
Luis brought forth her disc sword, materializing it from empty space.
どうするつもり？
グラジオル記目視録紙片にはこう書かれているわ。7本のディソードが集まった時、暗黒の大蛇が現れると。
Oh, shit.
それは純粋なる邪神の塊。邪神をほふることのできる邪神。あらゆる崩壊を飲み込み、邪神王の身を砕くことのできる同質にして異質なるもの。その大蛇を出現させるのよ。グラジオールを倒すために。
Huh. Luis was still trembling, yet she readied her disc sword all the same and closed her eyes the very next moment. It also seemed like she was meditating. Also, the way she's describing Serpent, if I remember correctly, from the first ending of this, didn't Takeumi's sword turn into a serpent to destroy Noah too? Like, I have like a memory of that. So it's like, it's weird in an unconscious way. Elise knows what's going to happen, yet she transformed it into this mythology. You know, it's very interesting. But even after waiting a moment, nothing happened. Meanwhile, the sky had fully turned black. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought it was nighttime. But no, the sun hadn't set. It was the black miasmata, and amalgamated into a mist that was spreading across Shibuya, transforming into a wave it sought to drown the city in wicked hearts. It slowly crept over the rubble-filled earth, planting every inch it touched black. Soundly eroded. It swept over our feet. The croak of despair came from my mouth. The corroded world was now rotting away. It decomposed, crumbled, and then it all returned to nothing. People, corpses, and debris alike. Everything slowly melted together, and from the amalgam came an overpowering, rotten stench.
Ayase, どうにかならないの？
どうして？
Luis wasn't responding to me. She simply stared at the sword she held in her hand, her eyes on the verge of tears.
ディソードが7本揃っているのに、どうして現れないの？
Huh?
このままじゃグラジオールに世界は飲み込まれてしまうわ。やっぱり黒騎士が7人集まらなければどうしようもなかった。予言通りに進めなければダメだったのよ。
The black wave was growing even faster than before. It had only been up to my ankles a few seconds ago, but now it was already up to my knees. Strangely enough, I felt some resistance to the flow of it. Did it actually have physical substance, or was it really not just a simple illusion? Filled with horror, a shiver ran down my spine. Shibuya was actually going to rot away.
綾瀬が妄想すればいい。グラジオールを倒す妄想を。
Unable to hold it in any longer, I screamed at her, but Wisha shook her head.
私の妄想じゃないわ。グラジオール機は。
だとしても、僕にも綾瀬にもその予言をねじ曲げて新しい妄想を現実にすることは可能なはずだろう。それがギガルマニアックス、いや黒騎士なんだろう。
でも、匠。
Elise stared my way, her gaze pleading with me.
わからないの。どうすればいいのか。
Oh God. I was at a loss for words. The world was covered by the black miasma. The sky was pitch black, blocking out any and all lights. Not even a single star remained. The black wave was already up to my hips. Felt like I was going to be washed away by its current any second now. It took everything I had to stay standing. I A corpse beside me melted into the liquid and was then swept away by the churning waters. If I let it swallow me up, that was exactly what would happen to me too. The mere thought terrified me so much I wanted to scream at the top of my lungs. What do I do? What the hell do I do? I desperately tried to think of a solution, but I couldn't come up with any. I was no hero, I was just an otaku freak. And even though I finally got into Discord, I had no idea how to use it, so that had ended up being just as useless as me. Everyone would be better off if I had just died. I should just get impaled by a bunch of stakes and bleed out like in the crucifixion case. But right when I thought that, I suddenly remembered something. The songs Fess had written, the lyrics.
歌を歌うんだ。
Oh shit. Despite how it might have sounded, it wasn't something I'd come up with as a last resort. No, I was convinced that was the best and also only solution I could have ever come up with.
歌で綾瀬の妄想を世界に拡散させるんだ。
That, yeah? And the world she spun with them captivated the youth of Shibuya. The Galador saga was a legend of dubious authenticity that might or might not have been true, could have all just been Luisa's delusion, and she was the only one who had any knowledge of it. But that didn't matter. That legend had been spread to the youth of Shibuya through phantasm songs. Therefore, mutual recognition had already been achieved.
だから歌うんだ。グラジオールを倒す歌を歌ってよ、フェス。
歌えというの、この状況で。
歌を歌うことで導きが現れるって前に言ってたじゃないか。
うん、そうね、言ったわ。そしてあのライブで匠と出会えた。匠。
Elise extended her hand to me. I took her hand in my own and squeezed it tightly.
匠は好き？私の歌。
Aww.
うん。
I'd listened to the album I bought from that concert many times. I'd left the concert early due to my fear of clouds, but she made me want to try again and again and again, however many times it would take. Seeing me nod along, Elise smiled blissfully. Aww.
ここで滅びても別にいいかもしれない。匠がそう言ってくれたから。歌うわ。聞いていて、匠。
Elise closed her eyes, took a few moments to focus before finally letting out a deep breath. Then she opened her eyes. She was no longer Elise anymore. She was Fess from Phantasm. Yep, I get that.
最下に契約の地を。
The fucking name of the chapter. She quietly murmured the song's name, and then she burst into song. Her voice reverberated toward the pitch black sky.
杭を打って杭を打って闇夜を切り裂き月光を浴びて幾千もの鉄鎚は汝の痛みとなりて今解き放たれるやがて叫びは宙に舞い夜空は赤く染まるだろう十字の杭は力となりやがて聖域へとたどり着く
The lyrics were a hint.
綾瀬、杭を打つんだ。
This song wasn't prophesizing the crucifixion case at all.
7本の偽ソードを合わせて闇夜に打ち込むんだ。
Oh shit. There was no doubt in my mind. It was a song meant to overthrow Galdor. A song to release a Whis from her world corroded by rust and red.
綾瀬の世界を壊せ。
Whis stared at me. Her eyes burned with a fiery passion. Whis looked her most beautiful when she was singing. Her energy had completely changed. The damsel in distress from before was nowhere to be seen. Whis understood what I was trying to say, and without saying a word, she nodded. I poured all my strength into her joined hands, and while desperately fighting against the power of the Black Wave, I entrusted my sword to Whis. The moment she grabbed it, it was engulfed in red light and swiftly disappeared. But it hadn't been destroyed. As if it had been guided there, the red light was taken in by Whis' sword. Once I knew that for sure, I let go of Whis' hand. Oh shit. Whis unleashed her power as a black knight. An enormous burst of wind came forth, blasting the world with enough force to make everything around her tremble. The black wave was struck by that pressure, turning into a whirlpool. There wasn't a fragment of her usual indifference in her anymore. Whis took a stance. She spread her legs, lowered her hips, and held her sword high. Her whole body was overflowing with not just strain, but a strong will. The will to work toward the future. She was just barely able to hold back her urge for pure destruction. She had to wait for the perfect opportunity to unleash it all. The red flicker of the sword grew faster. That sword is that which bends fate to its will. That sword is that which converges all sorrows. That sword is that which interferes with the transcendental voice. Fueled by wicked hearts, designed to rend others, and its edge was double. It was the manifestation of all the cries for salvation that arose from Whis' soul, an embodiment of Whis' chaotic heart. Whis' gaze was focused on a single point. The black heavens. The ones that shrouded my blue sky. The ones that shrouded Whis' red sky. A sky born from all the impurity dwelling within wicked hearts. One that brought nothing but darkness to the world. The only thing I could do was pray. With the Black Knight's triumph, or would Galdor prevail? Our fate was resting on Whis' shoulders. And yet, for some inexplicable reason, I knew. Just as foretold in the legend that Whis had orchestrated, we would never lose to the wicked-hearted king. So Whis, strike it. Strike it, and pierce through the world itself!
開け天国の扉
Holy shit. Her entire body curved like a bow being drawn, and then, with all the strength vested in her, she cast her shot forth. Oh shit. The sword carved a trail of light, blew away the darkness with a loud boom, and pierced through the vermilion heavens. It had completely penetrated it. The sky began to crack. The crack spread throughout the entire sky before long, accompanied by a flood of sound. The entire world shattered. This fucking music. Holy shit, what an ending, holy fuck! Damn, that was so cool. That was both cool and heartrending. Holy shit. I think that one was really a metaphor for like relationships, really. Of someone finally listening to Elise, you know, even though her thing was delusions, even though she came up with this whole Galdor King or whatever, to her, she still saw the world as hell because she had no one to share it with. She had no one else to give her a different perspective. It was so deeply carved into her mind that this world was filled with hatred and desire and wicked-heartedness that she saw it as red. She didn't see it as blue. But all she needed was somebody else, just another person to hold her, to care for her, to actually listen to her finally, and to break that viewpoint finally. Damn, that was really good. Holy shit. That was really good. I think that might be my favorite ending so far. That ending was really good. Like, holy shit. That was so good. Oh my god. Like, I feel like I understand, like, at least a lot more now. You know, it makes so much more sense why she has the viewpoint she has. Damn, that was so good. That was so... I think that might be my favorite ending. That was so good. Oh shit, there's more nice. When I came to, the brilliant light had returned to the world. The sky was blue. The color that couldn't be put into words. And yet I knew the sky I was looking at right now was most definitely blue. Galador must have been overthrown, or at the very least, that black miasma plaguing the world had disappeared. And now a warm, soft hand tightly clasped my own. Elise was standing by my side, looking up to the exact same sky I was. Without saying a word, tears poured from her eyes.
Ao はあんなに美しい色をしていたのね。
Oh.
見えるの？
見えるわ。匠が見ているのと同じ色の空が。
And what a clear color it was. So clear I could feel it in my chest. So clear it almost hurt to look at. Who knew that the sky above was so clear? Before now I had never once realized Shibuya was in shambles, transformed into a city of death. Not even a glimmer of its former glory was left in it. And yet, Elise, appearing more dazzling than ever, looked fondly over it all.
世界はこんなにも美しいのね。
And with those words, Elise gently clasped my hand. Oh, man. Oh, game, what do you got? Oh, my heart. Oh, my heart. A bloody contact for your sins. Oh, my heart. Oh, that was so beautiful. Oh, that was so peak. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That was so good. That was so fucking good. That was so good, dude. Oh, god damn it. God damn it. Just simple stories of people coming together really gets my heart going. The more and more I realize that, the more and more I play these visual novels, and there's a reason why I never like watched romance movies or whatever, because I knew it would always break me. It would always get to me, of just the simple thing of connections between people, not like just a simple, like, you know, power of friendship or whatever. Shit, maybe power of friendship does get to me. I mean, for God's sake, I read through Kaneki Man, which is all about power of friendship. But you know, it's like it gets to me so much of how another person can help us see the world in a different light. You know, I guess that's what love is, you know, in that retrospect of sharing the same world together, and how it changes us so fundamentally. It's so important that we connect with other people in order to see their worldviews, and for us to share our own You know, it's important for that in order to feel real, in order to feel like a person, in order to feel like your words actually matter to somebody. It's such a simple thing. It honestly is such a simple thing. It should be human decency, basic 101. But you know, it's like it still gets to me because I'll be honest, you know, my mind fucking tells me a lot of stupid bullshit all the time. Who doesn't, right? Doubts and bullshit like that, you know. But you have to break past your own mind and reach out to others because you don't know how others think of you, and it's important to reach out to other people. I mean, I know, like, I've learned this lesson so many fucking times. I feel like stories in fiction have said that message so many goddamn times. It's considered a cliche. It's considered a trope, but yet it's still so important. And it also depends on the delivery of, like, how do you deliver that message. And I feel like this was a great fucking example of getting that message across. You know, God, that was so good. I think that's my favorite ending. I think that's my favorite ending. That was so fucking good. That was so good. Holy shit. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the tips real quick. Dawaiwa. Oisa's discord, with its complete and utter absence of straight lines, represents the true embodiment of chaos. When Oisa materialized a sword, she modeled it after a mythical dragon, which is why the sword takes on a far more organic form than the other swords. The dragon appears in the severed verses of the Lone Black Knight, a part of the Galador saga in which one of the Black Knights slays a dragon, then forges a sword from its bones. I see. Alright, well, let's start off with the next route, which is Kazooie. Okay.
やはり間違いない。
Oh shit, I guess I've never seen the negative version of this. I guess not.
お前、私が見えているんだろ。
はい。
She said you can see me, right? Me, as in the person standing in front of me, Girl B. Suddenly, Girl B's expression twisted in misery, and she crouched down in front of me. With her eyes on the same level as mine, her gaze seemed to almost plead with me.
私、誰にも見つけてもらえなくて、どれだけ声を出しても、誰にも届かなくて、
Whoa.
体はすり抜けちゃうし。
Oh, she's evolved.
ほら、見て。私、足も透けちゃって。自分に何が起きたのか、さっぱりわからなくて。もう、何年も、何十年も、この場所を、さまよっていたような気がする。
Oh god, was she ghost? No, that was ridiculous. I didn't have the power to see ghosts. I didn't have anything even like that.
ずっと探してた。私を見つけてくれる人。ありがとう。ありがとう。お礼に。お前に取り付いてやる。
Man.
答えろ。見えるんだな。ディソードが。
え？
When I came back to myself, I couldn't immediately grasp what was going on, leaving me to bugly stare up at Girl B. She wasn't crying, her legs were transparent, and her hand were just normal hands. What the? Had that been a delusion? At any rate, a discord? What the hell was that? It was the first time I ever heard that word. Girl B had said that it was a sword, and whatever she was carrying was definitely shaped like a sword, but why was she asking me if I could see it? I can't believe there's, like, so many damn CGs for these alternative, like, delusions that you only, like, see once. Well, it goes to show you, like, there is a lot of shit in this game. Here we go. So, positive. Gotcha. Alright, Kazooie. Okay, and get to this point. Could she be here to help me? Let's see. Okay, so it's all yeses. Last one is no. Could she be here to help me? Yes. This transfer student must be a professional exorcist. Yes. 2 yeses. She acts frail, but that's all it is. An act. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. She must be here to kill Remy. Yes. The two of them should just kill each other. No.
匠くん、私はここに殺すために来ました。悪魔を滅ぼします。
What the fuck was the name of that achievement? I have to... Give me a second. Kerbam Showing. That is... Alright. That is the best achievement name I've ever seen. You cannot name me a single other achievement name that is better than Kerbam Showing. This is going to be a fun one. Or... This is either going to be the funniest ending or it's going to be the saddest. There is no... I see no other way this route goes. Oh boy. Okay. Even though the transfer student's eyes were welling with tears, they were also filled with determination. Despite her timid appearance, I felt like I could trust her. There's no doubt that from an outsider's perspective, her words were brainwave nonsensical. I was the only person in the sea confused people who wasn't perplexed by her first words. In fact, I was screaming for joy. Internally, of course. I'm saved! No doubt, an exorcist organization sent this girl to dispose of Remy. Fuck yeah! Kill that bitch! Okay, I think this is... yeah. What do you think this is? Fucking Hellsing? Takumi? Stupid asshole. Going downtown to Shibuya. Getting my disc becoming a giggle maniac. What the fuck am I doing? Oh yeah. Time to drop some bars within Shibuya. Yeah, about to cause a quake. What the fuck am I doing? Oh shit. Oh shit. Is this new? Shit, I guess so. Shit, I do have to keep that in. I automatically stopped dead in my tracks. What if she got up and attacked me with this sword right at this very moment? The very thought scared the hell out of me. Giving in to my fear, I began to follow Senna's order. I took one step into the train car, but right as I did, I immediately reconsidered. That was exactly what Senna would want me to do. Moth to a flame, a fly to the spider's web. I couldn't do that. How could I waltz right into my own death like that? Should run away. That was a much better idea. From the chain, it was easy to tell that this girl had some completely absurd, superhuman strength. With just a slight twist of her arm, I'd get helplessly pinned to the ground, and she would break my arm right after. And that wouldn't be the end of it. She had a disc sword. If I were to be slashed with a sword that thick and gigantic, I would die instantly. This girl was lying in wait for me. She was plotting something. Run away now! I turned on my heel to get off the train. But without me noticing it, the exit had closed. I had only just walked in. It hadn't even been more than a couple of seconds, and yet, with no sound and no movement, the door had closed all on its own. I was petrified. I couldn't figure out what had just happened. When I had the door closed, who closed it? It didn't seem like it opened and closed automatically, and even if it was an automatic door, surely I would have heard it. Senna was still sitting down in the seat. She hadn't moved a muscle. So she couldn't have been the one to close it. It obviously couldn't have been me. I didn't even touch the door. I wondered if there was someone nearby who could be the owner, but I couldn't see anyone outside the window who looked like it. No, whoever had closed it didn't matter right now. I shifted my gaze over to the other doorway sitting at the back of the car. It was closed too. I'm trapped. Senna and I were the only ones on the train, but what did that mean? All sorts of negative thoughts flew through my head, and I nearly screamed aloud. Senna, still glaring at me, of course, spoke up once again.
そこに突っ立っているつもりだ。
I had nowhere to run. My legs trembled. If I was to make some noise, the people outside might notice, but Senna would probably beat me to a pulp before I could escape. For now, it was best to just do what she said without resisting. I resigned myself and went to stand in front of Senna. Oh. What was odd to me, though, was how no one thought it was strange that Senna and I were locked in this train. Despite the fact that there were this many people, you'd think at least one person would find it weird. No one was even paying attention to the train. Before I knew it, the door exiting the train opened as soundly as when it had closed. I was completely and utterly bewildered. Interesting. Ain't that something, huh? Oh, here we go. As the final class ended, the stuffiness of the school day gave way to a restful afternoon. Alone, Ohara Kazui paddled her way out through the front gate. As she walked, her waist motions and lowered head highlighted her frailty. With her knit eyebrows and mudded expression, it seemed as if she were holding back tears. Having just transferred schools, Kazui felt isolated from her peers. However, that was only natural for her. She would wear away? No, would never speak. Even when called on by a teacher to solve a problem or read from a book, she would just fidget in her seat, tears welling in her eyes. Aw. Not a single person in the school had ever heard her voice, neither student nor teacher. Kazui constructed walls between herself and them, and those made curious by the novelty of a transfer student were quick to drift away. Even then, one or two inquisitive classmates were still determined to speak with her, but she had no desire to open her heart to them. Still, she never felt that her situation was particularly urgent. Even though it was only one person, she did have a friend. An older girl who was not in her class. Aww. Given that Kazui was new in town, the girl was the only person in all of Tokyo that she could confide in. Other than her, she felt she did not need to make friends. She did not need to get along with her classmates. All she really wanted was to continue living her quiet life. And this evening in Shoto Park, one could hear the sounds of children playing alongside the pond's bank. A boy happened to pass right by Kazui on a trail along the waterside. In his hand, he held a petite mirror that displayed the face of its owner. Two housewives, likely the mothers of the children at play, were chatting on the bench. Kazui could hear their voices clearly.
三面鏡の怪奇ビデオっていうのがものすごく怖いのよ。
Trifling mirror.
あら、そうなの？私それ知らないわ。でも三面鏡って？
ほらあれよ、鏡3つ並んでるやつ。
ああ、鏡ね、三面鏡。それでどんな怪奇ビデオなの？
Kazui stopped dead in her tracks near the bench. Her forehead became sickeningly slick with sweat. The women put their talk on pause, glancing questioningly at the odd girl before them. Suddenly becoming aware of herself, Kazui rushed away from the park. Mirrors. All. For Kazui, they were a source of great psychological trauma. Not wanting to recall the past, she frantically fought to keep the memories from flooding her mind. She told herself that she was overthinking it, and again continued walking towards the station. As she approached the front of Bunka Michi, her eyes were assaulted by light, a glowing and radiant white. Kazui shivered in fear. So many times in the past she had been assaulted like this by reflections in the mirror. Her mind overflowed with panic, unable to hold down her nightmarish past any longer. Was it a coincidence, or was she being targeted? She looked all around, praying it was just a misunderstanding. A short distance away, a white station wagon came to a stop. A man leaned out of the driver's window. In his hand was a mirror. He seemed to be adjusting its angle. The light struck Kazui's eyes. Again and again, frightened, she raised her hands to block the light, dashing across the pedestrian scramble in order to escape. Her mind ran rampant with terror and disorder. She wanted to get home as quickly as possible. She did not want to be here. Tears streamed down her face. Aww. It has to be a coincidence. She desperately repeated those words to herself, wiping away the tears of her fingers. Just then, white assailed her eyes once again. Its glare dazzled her, violently piercing her gaze. The car from earlier followed her. This time, only the driver's arm protruded from the window, and in his hand, he still held that very same mirror. Snapping out of her trance, she put everything she had into running for the station. She bumped into numerous pedestrians while pushing through the crowd. The fear kept her moving, paying no mind to all the mockery and insults sent her way. Upon arriving at the station, she turned around, only to find the right car stopped at a traffic light at Scramble Crossing. Kazooie hid under the shadow of the Hachiko statue, huddling in place with bated breath, struggling to comprehend all that had happened. In her head, the same phrase repeated like a broken record. It's just a coincidence, 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 it's just a coincidence. Whoa. Startled by the voice, she lifted her head. A man, seemingly a college student, stood by the Hachiko statue as if waiting for someone. He stood alone, his back turned to Kazooie, and spoke into the phone pressed against his ear. His voice echoed in her head. Oh shit. That sailor suit was so hot, it was on fire. That sailor suit was so hard, it was on fire. The man did not turn toward her. The phone remained against his ear. He seemed to be listening to whoever was speaking on the other end. However, not once did the man chime in or nod. He simply stood there, still as could be. Was he really on the phone? Oh shit. The voice echoed once again. She could not understand how or why, but the man was speaking of things related to her painful past. She began to tremble. It frightened her to even so much as look at the man. She slowly crouched down on the spot, covering her ears. It's all a coincidence. This is all one big coincidence. She continued silently chanting this to herself. As she sat there, crouching in place, an hour passed. Many people had passed by, but none tried to speak to her. When she finally managed to timidly raise her head, she found that the man was long gone. Aw, poor Kazooie. Damn it, this might be the saddest one. Shit. Oh, this is going to be sad, isn't it? Poor Kazooie. Oh, God. What is her past and what is her fear with mirrors? I guess that's what we're going to find out in this route. Oh, this is probably going to make me cry, isn't it? I know it's going to make me fucking cry. She looks so innocent. It's just so sad. Ugh, God. Anyway, back to this. Huh? She was wearing her school uniform. It wasn't really all that noticeable, but when she wore tight clothes like this, camera sword, it came across very well. Damn, I guess I never did negative for this one. She was tall, had moderately raised breasts, and extremely curvy waist. The most important of all, her legs that were sticking out of her miniskirt. They were long, slender, and well-toned. She looked like a model. I was sure a girl with a body this good would look great in a swimsuit. No, wait just a second here. I hadn't considered it until now, but a school swimsuit might work well too. They always chill fast wearing a school swimsuit. That thigh gap was almost too much for me. Oh, is she gonna show up in a fucking school swimsuit now? Yep. Was Fess wearing only a school swimsuit? Fess was sitting right beside me. Fess was also standing on the stairs right in front of me. Two of the same person in the same place. And not only that, but one of them was wearing a school swimsuit. Completely and utterly frustrated, I will run, so we snapped back and forth between the two Fesses over and over again, comparing them. They were exactly the same, right down to their facial features, height, and hairstyles. The only differences were their clothes and whether or not they were carrying a sword. They weren't twins or anything like that. They didn't just look alike. They were one and the same. I was used to seeing girls in school swimsuits in Woge, but here, I couldn't handle it for some reason. Vess was standing in the middle of this disgusting underpants and only a school swimsuit. And not only that, but there was a name tag on her chest with the name Kishimoto written on it in permanent marker. Moe. I felt like I was about to lose my mind from how unbelievable the situation was. Even though I knew I should look at her, I couldn't help but feel like I was as close to stealing a glance anyway. It took a lot of willpower in order to keep my eyes down.
ごめん。
Oh, I guess I never did this. I was at a loss about what to do, so I opted to subtly examine Remy's expression. What? Remy had changed clothes in the blink of an eye. She should have been wearing her uniform, but there's no way she could have sneakily changed clothes in the short time I had my eyes closed for, right? I couldn't keep up with such a sudden change.
どうかした？
Remy tilted her head. She didn't say a word about her sudden change of clothes. What was going on? Had Remy not noticed, or was she just playing dumb? Trying not to ogre her, I looked over her new change of clothes. It's nice. Really nice. Was this her casual outfit? As I hadn't seen her in anything but her uniform before, it felt incredibly invigorating. She was wearing both a denim-esque jacket and a miniskirt. The over-the-knee socks she'd been wearing before were gone. Essentially, her bare legs were on display. Her thighs were smooth and voluptuous. And while she was clearly wearing a miniskirt, she was also hugging her knees as she sat, so, I can see your panties, Sakahata-san. Actually, depending on the angle, it almost looked like she was completely commando. Against my better judgment, my eyes directed themselves towards the V-zone of her skirt. I desperately called forth my rational side to suppress my lust. The way she was sitting. It reminded me of the cover of a classic moe ogai, titled Free Sister. In the limited edition of its anime adaptation, there was an illustration of the heroine sitting exactly as Remy was now. I think one of those boxes labeled Free Kittens. That illustration was irresistible, boy moe. I'd even had it as my PC wallpaper for a while. Was this a delusion? An illusion? Or was it legit?
ん？
Oh god, I couldn't stop thinking about what was underneath Remy's skirt, and my Johnson was starting to make himself very known. Her body had been giving off a nice scent for a while now, and how should I put it? The texture of her skin combined with her amazing figure, it all put 2D to shame. Was this the true power of the third dimension? She seemed very capable of instantly obliterating the values I've held dear until now, even though I'd never been into 3D, nor had I ever planned to change that, even though I had only ever loved 2D characters. Right now, Remy held enough destructive power to fucking obliterate those lofty values with a single strike.
ねえ、タク。
It's a nice outfit. Surprisingly, no one. Remy showed no signs of acknowledging her change in the outfit and said she'd just given me an innocent smile.
私、喉乾いてきちゃった。何か飲み物ある？
My sense of reason on the verge of rupture, I took advantage of the opportunity to get up and headed toward the fridge. I peeked inside. I had some half-finished cola, but I drank directly from the bottle, so it probably wouldn't be the best idea to give it to Remy.
ないなら買ってこようかな。コンビニって深センの駅前にあったよね。
That's a really cute outfit. I felt Remy stand up behind me.
ちょっと行ってくる。
あ、
She gave me a big smile, then left without waiting for my response. Left alone with my thoughts, I began to think. What the hell kind of phenomenon was that? Really had been a delusion, huh? Maybe I'm wearing casual clothes, at least splitting in two. Had it even been that, though? Did I have powers or not? And if I did, how could I actually use them? How could I obtain a disc sword? I was still stuck deep in a maze of questions, unable to do anything but wander around aimlessly. Damn.
ただいま。
Then Remy, who had only just left, returned. Not only that, but she was wearing her uniform. Now you mean to tell me she quickly changed while she was outside? Why would she do that?
私、財布持ってくの忘れてた。
Remy didn't seem to notice my bewilderment, and with a strained laugh, she took her wallet from her bag.
弟子、それじゃあ改めて買ってくるね。
And without mentioning her clothing even once, she left the container again. I pressed a finger against my temple and groaned. Someone, please explain that bizarre phenomenon just now. Ain't that something? Come to think of it, what was up with that phenomenon I experienced earlier? The one where Rumi had changed clothes. Felt way too low to be called a hallucination. It seemed both realistic and unrealistic, and Rumi had changed clothes at such lightning speed, and there was zero reason for her to do such a thing. Therefore, it must have been a delusion of mine, just like when Elise had split in two. Oh, Shogun. Oh shit, I've never done the bad one for this. It was most likely him who had brought them here. They were all under his mind control. The scene of Elise falling earlier today resurfaced in my mind. In the midst of a countrywide broadcast, in front of a staggeringly large crowd, in front of countless people waiting for me to speak, I would be forced to jump. And once I did, it would be a prime example of how dead men told no tales. The expert bully planned to use his gift of clairvoyance to reveal the new gen perpetrator was actually the culprit the entire time. A shocking conclusion, an unbelievable plot twist. The population would then complete their false narrative, one in which I wept to my death as a way of repenting for my crimes. The curtains would close on New Gen after a most shocking display. My body would smash against the concrete, my limbs would warp in unnatural directions, blood and gray matter would splatter from my crushed head, and the entire country would witness my mangled corpse. The audience wouldn't be satisfied if I didn't go to such extremes. That was what entertainment was all about. Yeah, all I had to do was die. That way they would all be happy. And not just them, I'd be happy too. Because if I was dead, I wouldn't have to go through something so painful, so frightening ever again. Oh shit. Time to die. The world would be better off without me. Kill yourself, Takumi. Not haha, go kill yourself. Actually kill yourself. Had the answer always been that easy? I had never felt more at ease. All my worries had melted away. And so, carrying that feeling with me, I threw myself into the open air. The nightscape of Shibuya Station spun around and around. I fell to the earth. I felt the wind rushing over me. It felt nice. Hey everyone, look, I'm a bird. Damn.
ああ、死んじゃった。バッカじゃないのこいつ。
キモーい。
Jesus. God damn. Fucked up, Takumi. Fucked up. Oh, I have not. But Nanami.
じゃあはっきり言ってあげる。ナナミッチが死んだっていいじゃん。
Huh?
タッキーは自分の命よりナナミッチの命の方が大事なの？
Well, Nanami's my precious little sister, so...
でも突き詰めれば他人っしょ？死んだら悲しいけどそれだけ。タッキーに何か害が及ぶ？
Jesus. No.
自分の命と他人の命とどっちが大事？死んだらさ、世界が終わるんだよ。タッキーにとっての世界が終わるの。わかる？死んだらあとは何も残らない。
Jesus.
死後の世界なんてない。
天国もない生まれ変わることもない
Oh my god.
ただタッキーっていう一人の動物の生命活動が終わってタッキーはもう世界を観測できなくなるんさそれって世界が終わるってことっしょつまりさタッキーが死んだらタッキーが観測してたナナミッチもどうせ消えるってことなんだよナナミッチだけじゃないリミッチもアヤセッチもそれにアタシもみんな消えるでもナナミッチが死んだだけならタッキーは消えないで済むしタッキーの世界も消えないで済むんさ
Oh god.
ブラチューの最終回もちゃんと見られるし来年発売予定のブラチューのゲームも私の新作フィギュアもちゃんと買える世界が残るんさ
Gee,
ねえ
thanks.
タッキー死にたい死にたくない
Ooh, god. I mean, it's survival instincts for you. Here we go. There was little indication that there were any people present in the back alley since a guy. The breathing of a girl, Ohara Kazooie, could faintly be heard resounding through it. Holy shit! She cradled a gigantic sword, or perhaps it was not a sword, its unique shape brought its identity in question. It was more akin to a snowboard. The sharpness of the blade could not compare to one, however. Its surface was stiff and exuded a brutish aura. Wielded against another person, it could slice through them with ease, all while grinding away every bone in their body to dust. Maroon blood trickled down the blade, clinging to its edges. God damn. A young man in front of Kazooie attempted to crawl away. Despite the puddles of filthy water, he tried desperately to get even a little bit further away from her. Kazooie's face held a brilliant grin as she stared at the man. There was no trace of her usual cowering, timid personality. She was enjoying herself. Her cheeks were flushed, perhaps from excitement. The sword in her hand had been used on 2 others before the man, and it had been a remorseless bloodbath. Kazooie's not going to kill you. Kazooie's not going to kill you, but baddies need to be punished. The faces of the vulgar young men were bloodied and swollen. Until only moments ago, they had been tormenting Kazooie's classmate, Nishijou Takayumi. She had heard the voices of their hearts by chance. Multiple boorish voices had wrenched their way into her head as she was passing by. Whew. Piece of shit, don't look down on me, you Esper freak. Die, I'll beat you to death, you little shit. Pathetic cunt, I'll whoop your ass, fucking die, Esper. Shut your goddamn mouth, fuck. I'm so pissed off, I'm gonna end you. That stupid bitch gave me the cold shoulder. This is revenge, fucker. Shut the hell up. What in hell? Fucking die already, you fake fucking Esper. The hell does it take to kill you? Fuck, just die. This shit just what I was told to do. Do this shit get the money. I'll make a shit ton of money. I fuck him up, I get money, I want money, I beat him to other shit. I'll fucking kill you, kid. I'm gonna slaughter you, I'll tear you to pieces. Christ, it feels good beating people to a pulp. There's nothing fucking better. I swear it's like I'm fucking high or something. For real, this is fucking fantastic. I don't give a shit about the world. There's nobody who can fucking stop me. The police won't do shit. My old boss won't do shit. My fucking mom won't do shit either. Nobody but me is on the fucking top. There ain't nobody better than me. I'm at the top of the fucking world, bitch. Stay still so I can kick the shit out of you. Holy shit, I'm awesome. I want to kill them. From the cluster of voices formed by perverse hearts, a single voice of rage and hatred rose above. Recognizing the heart's outcry as Takayumi's, Kazooie had come running to where he was. Damn. And she had then attacked the bad men. One more person and justice would be dealt. The threat to Nishijou Takayumi and herself would be eliminated. For that reason, Kazooie refused to let the one young man crawl away. There would be no escape. I take it back. I take it back. I'm sorry. I'll die. I'm not gonna die. You'll fucking kill me. I'll die. I'll die. I'll die. I don't want to die. It's not fair. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. I'm gonna fucking die. My guts are smell everywhere. I don't want to fucking die. I want to keep living. I want to live a good life. I want to do all the stuff I always wanted to do. The young man's heart frantically pleaded for mercy. Kazui's wide smile did not fade. Holy shit. She gripped him by the back of the head, grabbing a fistful of hair and forced him upright. She accomplished this despite the immense disparity in their physical appearances. Lacking the willpower to resist, tears welled up in his eyes as he begged for mercy from the innocent little girl. Kazui's answer was a swift denial, but it was not one she voiced aloud. She simply mouthed the word one letter at a time with her small mouth. N-O. Lifting it above her head, the gigantic sword roared as it approached the man. Damn. With one blow, his jaw was pulverized. His shrieks reverberated throughout the alley. The man was blown away, then collapsed in a heap. Blood would have splattered all over Kazui's clothes, but she used her blade to shield herself, allowing her to avoid such an event entirely. With a nod of satisfaction, Kazui erased her sword. She then glimpsed at Nishijou Takumi, who was collapsed in the corner of the alleyway. Jesus. Breathing loudly, her heart murmured. Kazupi wanted to kill them for you, but Kazupi's going to stop here. Oh, shit. Alright. And we stop right here. And I think this is a good stopping point here, folks, as obviously we're going to continue on with Kazui's route here. And she kind of, I feel like, maybe, is it a split personality or is it more like bipolar? Like, what is it exactly? Because she doesn't like mirrors. That's a very interesting thing. If she doesn't like mirrors, that means she doesn't like to look at herself. So is it like a case of like she's trying to hide this kind of more manic side of her within herself, and that she doesn't want to look at that hideous form of herself in the mirror? Or is it something else? Is it perhaps a split personality? But I feel like we've already explored that with Yua and Mia. So I don't know how this will go, but I'm very curious as all hell. It's so surprising how in these routes you get to see way more sprites of these girls, way more. Like, holy shit. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the like button. When down something, put it down in the comments below. Want to share Discord server hang on in on my Twitter, check description below. And yeah, it's a bit of Voidlego. I'll see you guys next time. See ya.